Chaotic Neutral.
I'm Taylor.
And I am Caleb. The gloves are off already. We are going to disagree thoroughly on this one. We are still heavily into our spooky season, early 2000s movie extravaganza.
Oh, 2003's Underworld.
Yes, this is a personal favorite of mine. Taylor has already made some insinuating comments, so this is going to be a fun one. But let's start with a question, and my question is, damn, Bill Nye is a unit, right?
Yeah.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so good that they had to bring him back for the next two movies because they fucked up.
He's not in the next one.
He's not in the second one?
No, he's in the prequel.
He's in the third one, though.
Yeah.
Because they realized what they lost.
Hey, well, at least some movies get to have a sequel.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But sticking with
Deservedly or not.
but sticking with Bill Nye, I love Bill Nye in a villain role.
No, always
I stuck this character pretty high up into my villains ranking. And so I just wanted to know, you do not like this movie, but what do you think of the Victor character? Because to me,
there's not a whole lot there.
See, I think that's where you're wrong.
Well, again, I've only ever seen the first Underworld, now like 3 times. Haven't been able to watch any of the other ones. Just haven't had the time. Haven't had it put in front of me. And I'm now very familiar with the first Underworld movie. And I feel it is it's just, I mean, we've already said, so there's no suspense. I feel it's very half-baked.
See, I want you to elaborate on it, especially so to not get too broad. When it comes to Victor, where do your problems lie?
My problems lie with, like, there's just not enough of him there to like feel. I mean, other than it being Bill Nye, being a great actor, being a really good presence, kind of being a little humorous with that, but
That's just the man.
like,
right?
that's just the guy. That's just him, and we love him as Davy Jones doing that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Victor, he definitely seems like the kind of character that, like, there's a lot more to him that I just haven't been shown and presented. Boy, I wish that was in the fucking movie.
Well, so fun fact, I don't even know if you know this. I haven't seen the prequel one. So all of my thoughts about Victor pertain to just Underworld as itself, and I think he's in it the perfect amount for what he is, because the kind of gold in the character is how he's portrayed through Celine's perspective. Because the first over half of the movie, he's portrayed as like, well, he is asleep, but when he does wake up, he's portrayed through Celine's eyes as a good guy, as an ally to help. And then as the movie shifts and Celine learns more and more, he becomes, in the final moment almost, the true villain of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an in-your-face villain the whole time. You think it's clearly Craven. Or Lucian or Craven or maybe even Michael.
Yeah,
but by the end, it's squarely Victor. And Victor's just a terrible, terrible guy, and there's nothing good about him, and I can kind of led astray.
I think that's by virtue of the 3 of them being in the same room, and 2 of them never interacting in the fucking movie. So Lucian and Victor never fucking interact.
Well, they don't need to, because all that stuff,
all the action history.
Again, yes, Celine's not like the main character of the movie. She's just the eyes moving around.
Who's the main character?
It's my bro.
Really?
To me, it's either Michael or Lucian are the true main characters of the movie.
Okay.
And with Lucian, like the whole point is that him and Victor don't interact. Victor is convinced he's dead. Yeah, he is so opposed to the fact that Lucian is alive that his hubris covers it up too. He believes Craven.
Until he doesn't anymore. But even then, they don't get to have a moment where they interact. Because Lucian's dead by the time Victor shows up. For real this time.
Well, they do have that one moment. Near the end, he shows up and was like, "I've won," and then actually dies. Um, I will say, I'm not blind to this movie. All right, I like this movie, but there are things about it. I don't think there's nearly as many things.
You just got to go through and fend
As usual, I usually am just a little confused at some of the I don't agree with you on Victor's thing, but Lucian getting shot with the AG bullet, the silver nitrate bullet.
Sure.
And those things are supposed to like kill you pretty fast. It's what they tell us. And then he, by the power of wrath or spite or something, is able to crawl his way for a long time into helping Michael complete his transition and helping Celine and stuff. I thought that moment was weird, but him and Victor not interacting, I think, is good for the movie because it leaves all their stuff in the past. The whole movie is unraveling like why the whole movie happens in the span of 2 days, and it's unraveling the story of how did we get here.
Is it 2 days?
Yeah, it's 48 hours.
Really?
Yeah, from the point that Michael gets bitten to when he turns
Okay.
is 2 days. Yeah, it all happens very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that works in its favor. This movie's tight pacing, tight storyline. It doesn't meander. It is tonally consistent. You can make your faces, but I'm gonna make the arguments because I want you to put.
Yeah.
I know you had them. I know you had these thoughts.
I'm reacting, but I am listening to the argument, and I'm like, is it okay?
Yeah, because I want to hear your thoughts on it. I'm gonna try to listen there. It is from start. It's like it doesn't try to build out the world anymore. Like it's a completely contained little story, other than the Marcus stuff, which they leave some fodder for a sequel with Marcus and Michael. But it's the story of Celine stumbling upon this plot, on bringing the plot to light, and then dealing with the fallout of it. And I think it does a good job of conveying what it does. It is a little boring at times.
It's incredibly boring. That's kind of my big problem with it.
I can agree. I can see that, but I have no it is very slow.
Very slow.
And I think that to me it's just that type of movie. Right? Like it is trying to unravel the story, but it also wants to
Meander?
it doesn't meander.
You don't think so?
Not at all.
That's why we have to go back and forth from the same fucking locations 3 or 4 times.
I don't call that meandering. I think that's just like the unfolding of events. And we don't go back and forth, back and
Yeah, back to the mansion. Back to the mansion. I know it's a key.
that's where they live.
Yeah, but could we have?
That's not a meandering blood and plot.
No, just characters meandering through the plot is all I mean.
Expand on your point.
Okay. So the story of Underworld is we're in the modern day of 2003.
Honestly, it feels like it's set in the 90s.
Yeah,
I don't
all the phones and everything.
Yeah, there's some stuff where like they allude that it might not even be 2000.
Maybe not, maybe older. It's definitely in the modern era.
Yes.
Right.
Electricity, there's phones.
We're in some kind of European, maybe.
I'm pretty sure they say where we are.
And I don't know. It's kind of hard to.
I think it is Euro something. It's not America.
No, it doesn't feel American.
Yeah, like I don't know, but you do have the doctor. Michael's got an American accent. The other doctor's American.
It's weird.
Aesthetically, they are pulling on those Vampire Transylvania.
Is there ever a day segment? There's never a day segment, right? No. I mean, okay.
No. Everything happens at night.
We're in the modern day, and it is about the vampires who are a secret society of these creatures of the night and their eternal war with the Lycans, the werewolves, who are also creatures of the nights, and they have a storied past of servitude and master over one or the other, betrayal, love and loss, and it's it's given the bare minimum of explanation for your first movie. So taking the idea of there's going to be sequels out of it, of this being a movie by itself, there are lichens, there are werewolves. I don't feel that are basically the only thing you have to go on with vampires or lichens are your own preconceived notions of how these monsters work. And they just throw shit out the window.
Yeah.
They just throw a lot. We're doing our own thing, and I'm not inherently against that. I just wish it was shown a little bit better.
Well, Dave's gonna push back on you just real quick.
Yeah, no,
I wanted to stick with the point you saying it meanders.
Okay.
I'm like, which part does it meander? Because the vampire lore thing, they do kick it all out the window. They try to build on it, but
what specifically to me is meandering?
yes,
I feel like the entire plot hinges around traveling back and forth from the main vampire mansion, right? And I'm okay with you having like a centralized location for it to be important. My issue is that characters travel to and from that location one or too many times, which we could have. You have Celine return there after the first operation. Then she does some computer research. She leaves, and then she comes back with Michael. Michael escapes, and then she leaves to go find Michael.
no, Michael comes back,
Michael comes
and they tell her if you leave, you're done,
right.
and she goes sure, and leaves. And that's the last time. That's the last time we're at the. Well, that's the last time
No.
Celine goes back.
No, because then she comes back again.
She doesn't come back.
Yes, she does to talk to Victor because she already woke him up. So she has to come back to talk to Victor after he's woken up.
Yeah. Once she leaves with Michael, she doesn't come back.
Yes, she does.
No, after Michael comes, because then they go, where's Celine? And Craven's like, she left with Michael, and he's like, all right, that's it. She doesn't come back after that point.
She comes back to.
She does talk to him. She says, hey, Craven's doing all this shit. Yes, I did bring Michael in. Yes, he did escape. But Craven's up to everything, and Victor sides with Craven.
But that's after Celine leaves against Craven's orders to go take Michael to that interrogation, like, safe house. Where that chair is that he gets hooked up to. You remember that?
Yes, when she's picking the bullets out.
Yes. And Victor is like, let her come to me. And so she has to go back to the mansion to talk to him after he's more blooded up and like a little bit more filled out Bill Nye. And they have that conversation where it's like, you're going to be punished. You're not going to have anything you see. You woke me up in the wrong order. I don't care what your reasoning is. We have these rules. I put this person in charge kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's like one too many back and forth. One too many back and forth. I understand it, but it just seems to take a little bit too long. Maybe if they had just truncated one, maybe not have Michael escape, maybe just truncate the Celine taking Michael to the safe house and then coming back and having all of that happen. Instead of having one, there's just like one too many back and forths to the mansion.
I mean, maybe if it's one too many, then I feel like that's. I don't know if that will sway me to be like it's a meandering plot. I feel like one too many, like that's a. I honestly I wanted to before we started to look up the budget of this movie because we did that with the other ones. And I think it was kind of fun because this movie, you're right. This movie uses 3 locations, and it feels like it might be just like a budgeting thing where they like didn't want to use a lot of locations. So I could see you being right. I think it's fine, but I could see one too many.
22 million and made 95.7.
Holy shit! This has, for reference, Van Helsing was 135 million.
Yeah.
So this is a true low budget movie. That is way lower than I thought it was. And part of those things, you have 3 locations that you use. You use the Lycan safe house, you use the vampire's place, and you have like the few other
The hospital.
the hospital.
You have the subway. which is just the underground, which is
Yeah, we're on a whole lot of places.
you have the vampire safe house, you have the lichen safe house, you have the mansion, you have the apartment.
So I think
Then you have the streets, which could just be anything.
it's like I could see the one too many. I think it's a facet of
The movie
these low budget.
they're traveling back and forth from the mansion for various reasons, and I think that just takes. I think that it just takes. I think it just gets a little messy because we even had that disagreement about her going back another time. And
I can see it.
it all
I can see
melds
that.
together.
Yeah,
But it's like
I don't think that. I don't think it hampers the story, but yeah, like we're us even arguing about it. I can see that being part of the problem.
I think
Oh, just because sure, bro. When he punches that one werewolf and like blows his face out, just that shot of Victor like coming across with a hand. And it's one of my favorite shots.
at the end, right where he's in the purple.
Oh, when no, and they're he literally kills the guy.
Yeah.
And like he's like,
Nobody cleans them up.
no, why are in the vampires? Where did they leave?
I don't know. The rest of the place is pretty tidy.
But then how would Marcus wake up?
Yeah, I know. It's almost like it's like
They leave right from there.
uh-huh. Okay.
I think what I think the story overall is pretty solid.
I think the characters are just really bland. I think they're just really kind of boring. I think Celine doesn't have a whole lot going on.
Well, that's why I said she's not the main character.
But she's a main character. Michael's pretty bland too. Like I don't know anything about this guy.
This movie, yeah, it's like saying the characters in John Wick are bland. This is a gun fu movie, right? This movie is about the gun.
But John Wick's not a bland character in the first movie.
I didn't say John Wick. I said everyone else.
Celine's on the cover of the movie.
John's not John has one character motivation. You know why he is on a rampage, and you know that he is rampaging.
Right.
I don't think like that's a good character for that style of movie. You know why Celine is doing the things that she's doing, and you know that she's very capable in doing them. I see them almost as similar characters. Now if we don't watch Celine's family die, I think that would be a good note. I think that would be an interesting, and I'm sure they do in one of the other movies. I'm sure they show us.
Yeah, I mean, that would be smart.
But it's in service of the reveal that Victor's the one that killed everybody. Not a werewolf, not Lucian. It was Victor. He was just a piece of shit, and then forced her to be a vampire. And he's kind of at the root of all the problems in the movie are because Victor's an asshole. And it's dealing with those consequences.
It's just interesting that we're shown some things and then beaten over our heads told others. I don't really care for. I think it would have worked a lot better, like you're saying, if we were shown Celine's family being killed, and maybe she has like a very like Victor even has a line where it's like, her memories because of the way she woke him up is with her blood, and I guess you absorb. Which is a vampire thing. You absorb memories through the blood.
I was gonna say that's one of my favorite plot devices of the movie.
That's
because it shows us Lucian's memories and it shows us Victor's memory and it shows the backstory in almost like no, but it's also they also allude that she's very young when it happened and her memories have been like tainted by Victor. Victor fed her alive.
She can't be much younger because she's dead.
Also, we don't see her memories at all because
no, we don't
because Victor's not a point of view character. And again, I don't mind not seeing her memories because we see the character's memories that it matters to plot. We see Victor and we see Lucian.
Yeah.
And I think that's way more important than seeing hers. Her being the focal point, her backstory is not the point of the movie.
It's just that allows her character to make the like decision to like go.
She's the only thing that I think is heavy-handed in the movie is the very beginning, the exposition of like why the gang warfare in general and who Lucian is, and they can turn at will and setting that stage and then going into the subway scene. But the only thing you need to know about Celine's past is that she thinks werewolves did it. That's why she hunts them. That's it. And it's only until the end that she slowly finds out that Victor killed them. It it's way more important at the beginning of the movie that you have Victor as a rock to lean on, and not necessarily that she super hates werewolves, because you're immediately going to introduce Michael to be the sympathetic character to her. And if she super hates werewolves, that complicates how she tackles that situation. Because if you really hammer home the point that she's in this just to kill werewolves, then you really can't reconcile her and Michael later in the movie. Like, it's just not something that can happen.
I mean,
You have to leave that soft to have that make sense.
but doesn't that feel kind of inconsistent then, if that's her big driving point of why she does what she does, and she says she lives for it? Um, I disagree. I feel like if she had like this vehement hate of werewolves, and then her world is turned topsy turvy by the revelation that it was Victor, I feel like that would have been better for the character.
Well, it starts off by Michael just being a human. So yeah, so she's trying to get in the way of the werewolves by helping.
Right.
And then he slowly turns.
If you try to,
And they have that rapport built up to be like, oh shit, you're kind of my friend now. Now you're turning into a werewolf. All right, do I hate you just because you're a werewolf now? Or do I still like remember the person you were 5 seconds ago and try to help?
which I didn't know much about the person you were 5 seconds ago.
No, so he is attractive, they say.
Mm-hmm.
They say he is attractive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna put a fight there. That's the same thing that I brought up in the Van Helsing thing, where I was like, they don't really have a reason to be like
Yeah.
romantically connected. Same thing here. I think it really works that they are just kind of very powerful, powerful friends.
Powerful.
It feels like a Kylo Ray
Oh man.
kind of situation where I'm like, you guys, you do interact a lot and have like the same, you're pulling on the same rope, but like, I don't need you guys kissing all that much. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. But as far as Celine's motivations, I think it works. I think it works. Craven.
Wow, bored. Oh my god, this fucker. Why is he in charge? Why is he?
Who let him be in charge?
Why not Celine? Why not like anybody else?
Well, it's because he was there. He killed Lucian.
Yeah.
He killed him. And everyone else.
You know what? You know what? As a vampire lord, that I would take as like proof that you killed him. How about the motherfucker's head?
He had his patch.
How about his?
He had his skin.
How about his head?
Couldn't get it.
Couldn't get it.
No, his head was underneath the rubber.
Right.
And so I got him his skin.
His vampires in the series are incredibly weak.
No, I'm just saying the proof you're asking for. He had proof, right? He had proof, and that being the most important.
That kind of makes Victor look a little naive.
Well, he's wanting Lucian to be dead, and it's showing that he is naive. He's a pompous asshole. Right? He's not all powerful. He's not God. Celine one shots it. It's this gravitas that he's built up throughout time, the same way Craven has to be put into power. These vampires are all assholes and kind of idiots, and they're all high on their own supply. Which the other elder gets killed on the way in because of their
with no words of dialogue.
No, I kind of love that.
No dialogue whatsoever.
I kind of love that they just get murdered. They're like, oh, the other elder's coming in today, and it's just immediate betrayal.
Seems like shooting yourself in the foot to not have. Yeah, like okay, so
Well, but they get the elder blood. They get the elder blood that turns Michael. That's the whole point of it. It fucks up the vampires' chain of command.
Vampires are in like a really bad spot at the end of the movie, right? Right?
Yeah. No, it's everyone's in a bad spot, but definitely the vampires, because two of the three like original vampires are dead. The third one is waking up to this mess. There is now a hybrid who's stronger than both, and Lucian is dead as well. So it's like everyone who started off this war is dead. Celine's kind of at fault, and now there's a new super species. So I imagine the sequel gets weird. Haven't seen it. Should watch it. I don't know who plays Marcus. I hope it's someone cool. It's like if you get Bill Nye to play Victor, you got to have someone cool play Marcus.
You would hope. You would
I
hope.
would hope.
I find it so very strange how weak the vampires are.
You said that while we were watching it, and I think it's just solely in comparison to another strong figure. Because as soon as like Celine jacks Michael up against the wall, easy beat.
Is he human?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like the lichens and vampires are equal. Like they're equal kind of power levels. The werewolf can
Lycans seem just brute force, and obviously
It-
just way are.
so the part of the movie that shows why the vampires were able to subjugate the werewolves is because the werewolves couldn't control their turns until Lucian figured it out. And so now that the werewolves can control their turns, they're way more fucking dangerous. And it leveled the playing field a little bit.
When do they say that? I don't.
It's in that beginning monologue. And so
Oh, okay.
that's what I say that's the only heavy-handed part. But it gets you never think about it because we're immediately introduced to werewolves that change whenever they
Sure.
act. So it's like it is reinforced. But she's saying that's why the war has accelerated because the werewolves have kind of learned how to change at will. Whereas and they do show us.
by the beginning of the movie.
Well, it's not in a standstill. The fact it's that the lichens are like putting up. It's like it's a standstill from the vampire side of things. It's almost like the Americans didn't win the revolution; the British got bored. So the vampires are like used to dominating the lichens, and now they're not like straight up dominating them. They actually have to try.
Well, they have to track them down. They can't find them. There's like a lot of subterfuge. Like they say, I forget the character's name, but like the Q vampire of this movie, is just like
Yeah.
there hasn't been a coven. There hasn't been a pack that large, hundreds of werewolves. There hasn't been one like that in years and years.
Yeah.
You haven't seen anything
It's
like
like the
that.
days of Lucian.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's because he's back.
It's gonna get back. So here's another thing I'm confused about, and they never really touch on it in the movie. So werewolves will just live for however long they live.
That's what I'm saying. They're equal. They are equal. The only difference
They
was
just don't do a very good job of explaining or showing that in the movie.
I would argue they do a good job of showing it because how many vampires die? The vampires are kind of getting their shit ran the entire movie.
Which makes me think that they're not equal, that they're in fact weak.
Right. Well, that's what I was gonna say. So the being able to change at will leveled it, and then they figured out the UV bullets thing. And so now you have the brute force, you have the change at will, you have the UV bullets, and you have Craven on the inside. The vampires are losing. They are now officially losing. Like overnight, they go from being masters hunting them to extinction to getting their shit ran. Like overnight. So I think they do a good job of conveying that because in that first scene, that's when they're finding out about these UV bullets. It's the turn of the tide for the vampires. It is like, oh, this guy is just dead. He's just immediately dead. They've never been able to kill us before. Now he's just immediately dead.
Why is Michael so weird?
Why is Michael so weird?
Like, why does he have like no character whatsoever?
I think that's 2000 male protagonist gun movie problem. I think it's just they didn't need to.
But he's not like
He's
not like
he doesn't
he's-
really do anything.
he's a
stupid.
surgeon.
Yeah, he's just quiet. Like he doesn't really do anything the whole movie. That's right. The movie's just kind of about people wanting to do things to him. He's like I really feel a lot of well, this movie feels like Assassin's Creed to me, and Michael feels like Desmond, where it's like Desmond
has way more character.
eventual.
Get go.
Because you get to play as him. Face value. There's a bunch of people doing things.
You get to walk around us and listen to him talk.
Michael walks around and talks a lot.
He doesn't talk all that much.
No, he doesn't. He really doesn't talk all that much.
Like, I don't know if that works for you because Desmond like has like prolonged conversations with the two other entities in it.
Don't take it literally.
If you're bringing up a comparison,
It's a comparison. You're allowed to compare at levels, and the plot is not like it's about the things that are happening to Desmond and Desmond's genes. In that vein, I agree that Michael is paper thin, but also I don't really care for him to be any thicker. I don't need him to be. Half the movie, I'm figuring that he's gonna die anyways, and it's kind of a miracle that he doesn't die. MacGuffin that he doesn't die.
Yeah, I mean, like the movie and series needs him to live for however long.
I think one more movie because I know
Shitting me.
I know he's not in the fourth one. Well, fifth one. I don't know about the fourth one. He's definitely not in the third one. So, to my knowledge, it's probably just the second
I
one.
I feel like if this is the beginning of like a 6 or 7 movie like series, that it doesn't like on its own, it sets up a world. It gives the barest amount to set up this conflict in some of these characters, but man, it really feels like we are just rushing. It's funny for how boring most of the movie is. It feels like we're really rushing to get to the sequel.
I don't think they planned for a sequel.
Uh, I mean,
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't agree that they're really working the story. They're really working this story of Lucian and Victor. Like that's what the movie is about. It's about unraveling the story of Lucian and Victor, and then finishing it. Because ultimately, at the end of the movie,
they're both dead.
they're both dead. They it's a new order from how it's been for the past 600 years or however long it's supposed to be.
So is Marcus just gonna wake up in his coffin under the ground and be like, "Hello,
Well,
guys"?
no, because when it happened to Victor, the coffin came up.
Yeah, but that's because she did some bullshit shenanigery to pull him up out of the floor.
I'm just hearing that we need to watch the second one.
I mean, I imagine we were going to, but like that's kind of my problem. There's a lot of. It seems like this movie is all set up.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
That's fine. I just I feel like the only thing it really capitalizes is killing off the two best actors in the movie.
Well, right, yeah, because I don't think they're planning on a sequel. Like, again, this movie was made for $22 million. They probably think it's not going to go anywhere. It becomes a little cult thing, and they go, "Oh shit, we can make more money off of this." I'm glad that we had some sequel fodder. But really, the only sequel things are that this hybrid exists and that Marcus is going to get woken up. Which, if this goes the route of a lot of other movies in this vein, uh, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Van Helsing, other movies that are kind of like this in this same time period, it could have never gotten a sequel. And that could have just been the ending. Another like allusion to a sequel that never happened. But the overall movie isn't like we see the hybrid at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's building towards this idea of a hybrid, and then we get it. It's building towards this idea of like, oh, what really happened that night? What is Lucian fighting for? What is Victor fighting for? And then we find out. I think it really wraps what it's talking about and leaves Ray. I don't think it's on a straight arrow path towards movie number 2. Because if you are, I think you find a way to not kill your two best actors off. Right?
You would hope. You would really hope. Yeah.
Like they had to make a sequel, and then what they do for movie 3? Not make a threequel. They went back in time so they could bring back Bill Nye.
Yeah.
And I always forget his name. Who's Lucian?
Oh,
Like super good guy. Super good actor. Never remember his name.
Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen. Yes, good because using Good Omens, I believe.
Yeah, it was the angel.
Oh,
Zero. Oh.
yeah. If you're really trying to do a sequel, you're not doing that. I think they smartly set themselves up, or like allowed room, but I think it's a self-contained story.
So the traitor vampire gets away, right?
Think so.
He just gets away.
I don't know. He might die.
No, he just leaves. He just leaves.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I genuinely don't remember.
I feel like that's a problem.
I mean, he's such a like who. Honestly,
If that was a problem in the sequel, then
if he gets away, yeah, he better be there in the sequel.
right.
And I'm okay because again, that's kind of true to his character as a weasel. He's a weasel. He's nasty. He's gross. He's not intimidating. He's a piece of shit. I would assume he'd run away from the big fight. He shot Lucian in the back twice.
Lucian's able to inject himself with some of Michael's blood, which Doesn't save him, but maybe gives him enough to like keep going.
Gives him a moment.
Yeah. He doesn't even like gnaw on the dude's leg. Like he's right there or something. But you think maybe just wolf out a little bit, but he can't because of the silver, right? And the
Well, he is actively Donnie,
he's at
but also in that moment, like he wins. He's won.
sure.
Everything Lucian was trying to set out to do, he did it, and he could die happy. He can go be with his wife now. They're both in hell.
In hell.
Yeah. Where blasphemers go.
I don't know. There are elements of this movie that are like cool to me in that like it's very very akin to like Vampire the Masquerade, which is it's not my flavor of like vampire mystique, but it is a cool modern idea of it. It's very much the Annalise interview with a vampire kind of
As
feel.
far as aesthetics go, I think that's very strong.
I think the movie nails its aesthetics except for the lichens. They kind of look lame as hell. I appreciate that they're dudes in suits, but man, dude, they look rough.
Every time we see them clearly, it's bad. Like, it's bad. Every time
They look like
in shadow,
werewolves.
they do. I don't mind the design, but it's like, yeah, it's the person in the costume in broad daylight that becomes a problem. Anytime they're like shown in motion or silhouetted, or even the transitions. I think the transitions are pretty cool. I like the bone breaking. I don't like when they go up inside and try to do the CGI bone thing. I thought that was kind of too much. The movie doesn't really go with visual effects. They go with special effects. There's not really any CGI.
The gun movie isn't super great.
No, it's cool. It's just there to.
She ain't hitting shit, dude.
No, that's just.
She's not hitting shit all.
Or she shoots a lot. She's
Yeah.
a lot. They're werewolves.
Doesn't hit very much.
She does. It just takes a lot to take him down. They don't have silver. They don't have a silver nitrate bullet till the end. They just have regular silver bullets, which are like,
Still pretty good.
And when they're full, like, and they show you early on that they can eat like 4 or 5 and be fine. Like they'll dig them.
She's shooting way more than 4 or 5.
She's shooting. She has, I think, 300 per clip.
Something like that.
I don't think she reloads the entire movie.
No, it's
Every once in a while she'll change guns, like pick up some dead guy's gun.
if it's like a gun fu kind of movie,
It is.
like it doesn't do a very good job of being a gun fu movie. And we were saying when we were watching it, like, wow, we can see a lot of the inspiration taken from the Matrix.
Very Matrix.
My problem is like whenever Celine has her guns out, she's very clearly not on target at all. Like she's not.
It's just to look cool. I always akin the movie to like a live action anime type. Like it's about the fact that there's explosions and guns happen. It not like the tactics of what is happening. She shoots a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
All right. Like the guns are fantasy. The whole movie is urban fantasy, but it's just meant for 12-year-olds to go, or 12-year-olds and man babies to go cool in 2003. And like, really, aside from Matrix, like what other types of movies do that? Rambo?
No.
Fuck you.
The John Rambo.
No. A gun just shoot 'em up type.
Okay, and
Rambo's not hitting shit. He's firing an NG from the hip. Okay, so it is classic movie, action movie tropes that they are using in this. Not different than any other.
It feels like they're aping like John Woo movies more so than.
They're not nearly technical enough.
No, they're not, and that's kind of my problem.
No, that's why I'm saying I'm akin them more to like Stallone,
So like Rambo 2 and like
Schwarzenegger maybe, all movies like that where like you watch them and it's like just nonsense. Like it's just for the explosions. Like it's just an action movie. It's not about like if they're actually hitting. It's about squibs and funny stuntmen. They just happen to be lichens and not Russians.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if there was, I feel like none of the gunfights really worked for me. I don't think anybody's hitting fucking anything, and they're shooting at each other in a goddamn hallway. It's like, what the? Okay, remember when they're dropping down? Now, Celine does this a couple of times, and it looks like it hurts every fucking time. But she just drops straight down.
He has superhero drop.
Sure, yeah, cool, fine, whatever, vampire, I believe it. The other ones are rappelling down.
That's because Celine's a badass. She's a death dealer.
Um, like, shoot them, idiot. I don't know. It's like you're shooting at each other at either ends of a fucking can, and none of you can hit any of them unless Celine's there.
There's so much violence, blood, and death that I just disagree that they're not hitting anything.
No, they're hitting. They are hitting.
They're shooting each other constantly.
It's fucking crazy.
Like there is a lot of shots taken.
For sure.
Oh, or yeah, like it's like a
Remember how we took
Kira.
Remember how we couldn't figure out who those cops were working for?
No, they were clear Lycans. They were Lycans.
Were they?
Yeah. Lycans the whole time.
I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah. So when they first show up, you're like, oh, are these cops? Are these Lycans? They're obviously hunting Michael.
Well, they are vampires.
When they kidnap him, when they get him out of the street, and he's starting to turn,
Right.
the way they're talking, it's very clearly they've been Lycans the whole time. I'm like, fuck, he's turning. Get him out of the car. Pull the car over. He's not gonna make it.
Yeah.
It's like they know what's happening to him. They've seen it before.
I mean, I would just as well as assume that a vampire would understand that too. But like, I mean, yeah, it makes sense that they're like, well, without Hector.
A vampire would have killed him immediately.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they're Lycans the whole time.
There's a lot of like, okay, what generic gunman, and the only way you can really tell vampire versus, besides the cops, the two cops in squad car, the only way you can really tell who's on whose side is how long their jackets are. The vampires all have these like floor length trench coats,
Yeah.
whereas the Lycans all have like waist or maybe like top of thigh, like bomber jackets kind of thing.
Yeah, the Lycans are slightly less classy.
You know,
That's an aesthetic of the time. Like
no, it's fine. It's just the visual language isn't perfect.
there are times where the Lycans are in a shootout and aren't likened up, and yeah, it is very difficult. I mean, there was one guy in the subway scene who died, and I do remember going, I'm like, all right, who is he?
Who's that guy?
Which side is he on?
Yeah.
And I think he ended up being a vampire. But, yeah. That, I mean, I think Militia's had such an insane impact on movies in that time.
Yeah.
They trench coated like the next 5 or 6 years because of the Matrix. Like just carpet bombed the early 2000s.
You really like Victor. I think Lucian was like a weight.
Oh, Lucian's. No, I love them both. Okay, I love them both. Victor's the villain of the movie. Right. And when you're in the vampire perspective for the first part of the film, and they really are like hammering on Lucian's the villain. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, Lucian ends up kind of being the hero. Like he's kind of right. At the end of the movie, you're like, yeah, Lucian's like, I definitely don't think you're a bad guy. Nothing he does is like evil. Maybe he's kind of this tragic type character that he had everything taken away from him.
Maybe he could have made some better decisions with Michael and maybe done a little bit more to kind of win him over a little bit. Once he was standing in front of them.
Maybe.
It's very convenient that all those flashbacks were happening as they were not 5 feet away from each other. So Michael can say one of his 7 lines of dialogue in the movie to be like, oh man, Victor killed your wife.
Everything's convenient in storytelling.
No, not everything, but it is. But this particular scene is
you could have 5 minutes before shown the flashback, and then when he gets in front of him, be like, "Hey, I had this vision."
Well, he gets the full flashback at that point.
Well, right, yeah, because you start firing off memories, you start triggering stuff. That
werewolf synapse in you.
Yeah, it's like Lucian's such a good character that they had to come back and give him his own movie. And I assume it's just the plot of the the backstory. Like I assume that is probably where we start, like that night, and then see what how Lucian starts the war after that. 'Cause it's called Rise of the Lycans. If I was writing the story, that's what I would do. I'd have the movie start with his wife and unborn child being murdered. Or him having the Lycan, doing a Spartacus Lycan movie.
So let's talk a little bit about the hybrid.
I love the design.
Kind of underwhelming to me.
Really?
Well, because he's starting to like morph out into the werewolf and get buff and fucking, and then he gets tiny again.
Well, he's still big.
No, he's not that much bigger.
He's bigger than he was. And his ribs are all sorts of fucked.
It's a little hard to see. He definitely has a little bit more tone, but that's the prosthetic that's on him. Um, it's just a little underwhelming. He's still big, so
I like how alien they make him look.
the visual language of him moving around and fucking up Victor is there, but even then, he's still not as strong as Victor.
I honestly, now you say that, I fully believe that's why that's why they chose the design they did, to make him closer to a human so they can make him move well. Because the Lycans don't move well, that's why we don't like them. Or don't think they look the best. If you do that to Michael, he's gonna look comic as fuck. But if you make him be able to move just like he is, don't put a ton of stuff on him, you can make him move fast and show him just kicking this old ass vampire shit.
And he does for most of the fight. Granted, the visual language of it is fine. Like he is strong,
Black God.
but like, is it? I mean, like, there's just and you can chalk it up narratively to being just like, well, Victor is more experienced, period. So he's gonna get the upper hand on dude who just got given all this power. So like that's not hard for me to believe. That's not really a critique of the movie. But he doesn't actually seem like he's all that much stronger. So maybe in the sequels he'll get better.
Who, Mike?
Like,
Is it not?
he doesn't seem like he's all that.
I mean, I would just say, like, just look at the work he was putting in on Victor. By that same thing, he just was dead 2 seconds ago, and now he's alive and has new powers,
Right.
and still kicks the most powerful vampires ass.
Would have been cool to see Celine and Victor have to fight a little bit more then.
It would be, but like,
You're gonna have like more of an emotional, like there's more emotion there. You had the one fight and Victor gets like taken down, but he's still victorious because he's dealing with an amateur, and now he has to deal with his progeny. It's like,
yeah, after that last exchange where he basically was like, tough noodles, kid, like, and sorry, not sorry.
yeah,
Just having one more exchange.
something.
Uh,
Again, that goes back to very earlier where I was just like, I really, even with Lucian being dead, I would have liked to have seen some kind of something there, like just a little bit, like maybe he's just like taken aback and like maybe a little bit of like, oh man, I was like really full of myself, like thinking that everything was fine and like I gotta fix this, and like maybe that throws him off kilter. I'm just saying that they could have done more to flesh out the character before they killed him, and they killed him very very quickly, which is like,
I think they fleshed him. I don't know how much more you could.
we
flesh out
just
that-
disagree. We just disagree.
Yeah.
Like how much is there?
I agree that I would have liked an exchange. With his well, like you said,
with Lucian or with
his daughter stand-in.
yeah.
Like to tie that whole plot together. But I'm not gonna complain with what ends up being a cult iconic death scene in Victor's slow motion head. His head stays together for so long. Little goofy, but so is the Resident Evil lasers through the guy.
It's very much the exact same thing.
They're very similar type of franchise movies.
Came out about the same time. I would say, I would say
cut it like
perfect.
people like folding in half. There's so many movies.
Dice layers of meat.
Yeah, the dice cubes of meat. It's like when I saw the movie for the first time, like I geeked when that happened. Like that was like one of the most stunning deaths I'd ever seen. One of the
You think of a slice? No, because the vampires are actually incredibly weak by comparison to like.
there's still they're true as other iterations, sure. I I personally like the nerfing because it they play into the fact that in the world lore, it's just like they're just like diseased people. They're playing with the genes, they're playing with the cells. So they're not too far away from people. They're not crazy monsters that have been cursed. There's no magic. It's just a slightly different little gene model.
And that's kind of what I'm going with, where it's just like you want to have your own iteration of like these monsters, and like they work on it in Underworld. They work on a different level, right? But they're not as physically strong. At least the Lycanists are stronger physically. They're a physical force, which I'm fine with that being.
Yeah, they show they got thick necks.
I'm fine with that. The vampires just not being as durable is like okay, but there's more of them, so okay.
I mean, they're durable until the UV bullets.
I mean, the one vampire just gets fucking rocked by the Lycan just straight out in the subway. Like it's just a physical altercation, and he just gets his throat. Like, I mean, if you could just cut hit if it like if Victor just gets his head cut clean in half and there's a delay where he doesn't realize that he's dead, the vampire getting his throat ripped out, sure, it's gonna kill him. They're not durable. They're not as strong as other iterations, which okay, you're taking a different approach to it. That's fine. I have no problems with that. Um it's a disease. It's a change of their genetic makeup, this kind of thing. And they have this not prophecy, but this lineage of Corbin.
Yeah, Marcus Corvinus, or it's I forget the original guy's name, but yeah, Corvinus.
Sure. It's like
Venus, my bad.
Corvinus, yeah, which is like that's your origin of the species kind of thing for either of them.
Well, they're connected, right?
Yeah, right.
It's like there's a Corvinus, and then one's a vampire, one's a werewolf, and one's a human. That's how the lineage spreads out from there.
I just think back to like my memories. It's again, it's a pretty rough franchise, but like I have to compare this to things like Resident Evil that also got sequels, and I have to compare it to like Blade, and I'm like,
It's a cult movie. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
I feel like I don't know.
Personally, the lineage thing, I really like that.
I want more. I want more. That's where I'm trying to get to. I was like, could you give us a little bit more information than just a cliff note?
Yeah, which they felt the need to make a third. I imagine a lot of these questions get answered in the third one, which yeah, I agree. They the one werewolf who gets fucked up by Victor tells us that story, and then Victor's like, it's not true, but it's like clearly true. Yeah, it would have been nice to get even more clarification on why does Victor not think it's true. He's closer to that timeline. He's one of the elders.
Yeah, I get vampires living for a long time. I wouldn't expect werewolves to.
Yeah, it just
They just do.
yeah, they're way I personally I like how similar they are. They're like this not fully two sides of the same coin, but they're family members, they're cousins. I think someone says cousin at one.
Yeah.
I kind of like them being so interwoven together. I was
Fine with it. I
because
just don't think there's enough to not justify it, but I feel
they elaborate on it.
yes,
Show us
yes.
more.
I just need more.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm left with this movie and where a lot of my like dissatisfaction comes from.
But they do allude to some really cool things, like the slavery thing. It's like, okay, you're cousins, you're that close to the same power structure, but vampires dominated you for 600 years.
Why?
Like, that's crazy. Like, that's an insane power struggle. Like,
And like Lucian has a thing where it's like I'm cool with it until I did a no and
well, no,
if Victor's daughter.
so that's I was gonna bring that up earlier. That's when Lucian learns how to transform at will, is in that moment. And we see him, it's in his grief when he transforms.
So what was the
It was
what was the catalyst? Strong emotions.
yeah, he just creeped out.
So no slave or werewolf that ever had strong emotions.
Not to that extent. And no, it's
Okay.
he figured it out. He figured it out. And it was a reason it was 600 years before he could really make a clan of people that could do it.
Because you have to
You have to train and breed and bring guys in and get hunted and get extincted, and
I guess so.
there's all sorts of stuff. It's not a it's not an alien trope. One guy figuring shit out. It's like I brought up Spartacus earlier. It's a very Spartacus-esque story. You're telling me no other gladiators decided to rise up? Well, yeah, because that's how the story goes. It was this guy who did it successfully. The evolution, kind of the same way. There was a catalyst. Maybe other people figured out how to do it, but they didn't make the lichens rise up.
What team are you on?
Ooh, man, that's fun. That's a very fun question because when I was growing up, it was always Team Vampire. This last time, I went, "Holy shit, the werewolves are right," and I'm Team Lycan all the way. I would follow Lucian anywhere. That's a leader.
The ability to go out in the fucking daylight still being like a thing you can do.
We just flip it on and off whenever.
Yeah, that seems a lot better than the vampire.
Yeah,
Which I don't typically I want the vampire shit too, but like it doesn't seem all that good.
yeah. It's like it's a
They need to drink blood. They need to.
Yeah, it says they do, but they've weaned themselves off humans because they are also like
So they're soy boy vampires.
I think they said they drink animal blood. Yeah, just to remain unnoticed because they are also getting hunted. They allude to that as well. As like the vampires aren't doing great. They're doing better than the werewolves, but they're not doing great.
Yeah, I'm seeing Jacob on this one for sure. Then I guess.
But I love this. I love the subversion of that too, because like it's always vampires who are the werewolves,
because they are.
unless they're not.
Unless it's Underworld, I guess. Yeah.
Unless they're not, which is it's kind of cool. It's kind of
Okay.
cool to see a werewolf get their moment. All right, bring it on. What's your rating?
A solid 5.
Okay, that's honestly higher than that. How you're gonna put it?
Well, I mean, like it's not like a terrible movie. It's just I'm just bored by it. I'm just bored by it. It doesn't give me enough. The characters are really shallow. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really lacking. So it really sits right there in the middle of like I'm not personally offended by the movie, but I don't love it.
That's fair. I fully agree on you. Agree with you that it's a little boring at times. To me, like it kind of hits like the same way that Inception's boring, where it's like, yeah, there's some really boring parts of it, but I'm enjoying what it's trying to tell me. And for me, it's a 6.5. And I wish the fights were a little more choreographed. I wish at some point I could do an Underworld movie and remake and remake the original, but it's just outside of the mediocre range for me. Just because I really think the two leads and Kate Beckinsale uh, do a great job. Um, I think they carry a lot of weight, and it's a
I think the tape does
tiny
a
little-
bad job.
no. She just great. She's just, again. I'm like,
So's my
Celine is just not like she's just the eyes that were viewing this story unravel it, and the movie's really about Victor and Lucian, and those two characters are
It's more really fun conflict than the characters in the conflict.
yeah.
I mean,
It's about these 2 days where the conflict's going this way for 600 years, and in 2 days it goes this way, and it's about those 2 days. So I think it's I think it's a better movie than similar ones in its category. I haven't seen Blade. I'd like to see Blade.
I think you'd like Blade way more.
I feel like
Because Blade's like a
yeah,
character.
yeah. I feel like Blade. I think Blade inspired this movie too, it's like Blade in the Matrix.
Blade's like 98, 99 too.
Yeah, earlier, definitely earlier. But yeah. You got any final questions? You can do me some final questions. If you could do, I got it.
Yeah.
If you were to make a action movie that has vampires and werewolves and spooky shit of the like, what are you subverting? What's one trope or one aspect that usually gets brought in that you would subvert? So for example, the werewolves being able to change at will, or the vampires having reflections. Like, what's something that you would be like, I'd change this?
Um, yeah, well, the werewolves being able to change at will is kind of similar along the same veins of me being like, if we're gonna have vampires and we're gonna have them being so different, let's not have them like have to drink blood
Hmm.
kind of thing, like of any kind. Let's just make them almost fey, elven like creatures, maybe.
Hmm.
If we're gonna keep this idea of vampires and werewolves, let's just make them kind of otherworldly. Um,
Like leaning into the immortality more than
yeah, it's more so that they're just immortals,
yeah.
more so than they are creatures. Um, if you're gonna have a big Vampire the Masquerade, let's maybe have a little bit more to do with the public perception of the gangland warfare kind of thing.
Yeah, the little these firefights that happen.
Because they talk about the bioluminescent, the UV bullets, and they go, "Oh, I think it's military." Okay, so why the fuck would
So the
you need?
CIA knows about you.
Yeah, right. Let's have like I don't want to third party this fucking like duos conflict, but
Yeah.
like maybe that would be a good idea.
Like, where's the government stand and all
Yeah.
that? I like that a lot. That's super fun.
That's what I would do.
That's pretty good.
I would honestly, I would just make the werewolves look a little bit different. Maybe instead of them going, because the vampires don't do anything very vampire-ish. In terms of like they have their eyes and they have the teeth. That's it. Maybe in to make that visual language I keep saying a little bit more cohesive. Don't have the werewolves like roid out. Just have them take on more Fenris features,
Yeah.
maybe snarly a bit more, maybe get the teeth as well. We get under nails.
Like the originals, werewolves. You ever watch that?
No, I did.
That they basically did. They just stay like human, but they
Yeah,
are
just do that.
so strong.
Just do that.
Have claws. And
I'm fine with that.
I like that.
I don't need them to become guys in suits. I think it really takes away a lot from the conflict. And if you just have like two basic humans and they're just having a fight, it lends a lot more to the idea of this is a underworld conflict and we're going under the radar while having this secret war. Where people could just be like, I don't know what the fuck those guys were on in the subway, but they were kicking each other's heads.
You can't really have a secret war with guns. Like, that's a very visible war.
Well, it's a very visible war, but you can't have a secret war with dudes roying out into skinless werewolves.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have like the Men in Black, the miners.
Right.
Or,
Like that's what I would do. I would expand it out to like the idea of like you've got the secret war, but then you have like, okay, where are we meeting tonight to fuck each other up? Yes, I mean like I've got like a detective that's watching me and shit, and had that be like a constant worry kind of thing.
that's pretty cool.
That's what I would do. How do you?
I like that. Well, I originally was just thinking of like a totally separate thing, but like if I was to add things to like this Underworld franchise type situation, I honestly I'd explain the gang warfare. I really like the government aspect. I'd throw more monsters in there. Like or maybe like almost like Vampire the Masquerade, where like different bloodlines have more different abilities.
Oh,
I love the aesthetics of this movie, but I also do like a bit of a mystical vampire.
yeah.
Like I don't like them to be god mode. Like you can't fuck with them at all. Like Castlevania Dracula. Like so over the talking can't mess with them. I like them. I like them more in this underworld range where they'll die, but you have 100 of them, so it's fine. But I do like them to have some powers. I am also not a huge fan of the sucking blood thing. I am a huge fan of them being able to steal life force. I like that type of vampirism where it's like, they walk down a crowded street and everyone just starts to get a little tired and well, it is 5 o'clock and I haven't eaten today, and they're not thinking about it. They're just consuming all their life force as they move by. I like stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, I think that would work really well. That'd be an interesting idea to see. Um, reminds me, I mean, it's still blood, but it reminds me of Legacy of Kain, where it's like, yeah, he drinks blood, but also can just absorb it.
Yeah.
Cheat him.
Yeah.
The sequel.
Or like the Legend of Vox Machina, like he
Yeah,
it's open blood is what comes to him. Like he cuts them and the blood just like comes to him.
That's cool. That's an
I think that's
interesting
pretty
idea.
neat too. Yep.
Just absorbing life force. The life is the blood kind of thing.
Yeah. The energy vampire.
Yeah.
Have you seen the What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah.
It's just a guy.
That would be a really interesting thing where it's like the vampires are like such a problem.
You notice all of those, I think.
Yeah. So, well, that'd be an interesting idea where like you could this kind of a diatribe or a digression, but like maybe have like a thing to be like vampires are feeding off like the life force of like people around them via their emotions and things like that too, like you were saying. Maybe have like their secret cabal be responsible for like small tragedies
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah, it's easier in a big city, but when you get to a small town, you're hanging out with the same people all the time. How you're gonna go through your food supply?
That's why you gotta move to the big city and the larger populace.
And naturally, we're just letting the wheels spin. It's like, okay, so you have cities which are a nexus point of people. They're also now nexus point of vampires. What does that society look like? How do they? Now you're divvying up gang warfare style lines. Like, for you are in my turf, dude. It becomes like wolves type thing. It's like you are in my territory. This is my hunting
We
ground.
gotta get home. I'm hearing the wolves calling, and it's just a bunch of dudes in hoodies on the 6th train. Yeah. No, dude, you could do so many cool ideas that they just didn't.
Yeah,
It just wasn't for this movie.
not for this movie. And
But the ideas are certainly there.
yeah, it was fun. Very, very spooktobery. As always, if you are still here or have joined us at all, please consider giving us a like and subscription. It'd help us out a lot. We're trying to grow. We like doing this, and we like having you here. Also, what should they jump into the comments and do? Is it what they would do with some versions of vampires, or favorite vampires, or
Yeah, maybe a subversion of the idea, or better yet, maybe what's another? I mean, that's kind of a
how would you fix Underworld?
how would you what would you do with your underworld? Where do you keep your underwear?
Underwear?
Underwear. Um, what would what would another kind of idea of these two mythical creatures coming together to fight and having this secret war? What else could work like that? Let us know.
And as always, see you Tuesday.